Okay, welcome to Oz and Z Combined Racing League and the Gravel Trap Legends for round 3 of the Power and Glory series. We have reached a milestone, and this is a multi-class round for round 3 where we have both Group C and the GT Classics combining together for a multi-class race to celebrate the halfway mark of this championship. So it's going to be the same format as what we have seen so far for the first 2 opening rounds. And it'll be a 70-minute timed race with a rolling start. Obviously, the GTL safety car comes out if 2 or more cars are involved in an incident. There is no compulsory pit stops, but we are expecting, obviously, the Group C's to pit for fuel. The GT Classic should be able to get to the end of the race without any fuel or tyres, as we've seen for the opening 2 rounds. The race start time is for 3 p.m. with overcast, heavy clouds, and it is today's date as well. So it's nice and cold winter time in England here at Silverstone, the historic layout of 1991. So this throws a few little challenges in its own as they come through Bridge, Priory, and Brooklands, all a little bit different to the current circuit, and obviously throws a little bit of excitement to our drivers here tonight. Let's go to the previous round at Adelaide for the Group C's, and we had Longy make 2 from 2. So he's had a clean sweep so far in the championship, but it was Captain Parallax that came home in second position after Dado Racer spinning on that last lap, and Ashley Cucci getting his podium in third position in the Porsche as well. So we had the 4 Porsches in the top 5. Also, G-Dude all the way down in 11th. That could have been a better result for him. He had an incident in the first the first lap in the pit entry, finding the wall there. So he was actually a lap down at the start of the race, but came back, fight from last all the way to 11th, 2 laps down. So that was a good run for G-Dude also. We had a lot of excitement we saw last week in the GT Classics, and it was a narrow win by DDF over McFly, not even a second in that run to the flag, with Magic Mass taking that podium after a very hard opening round. So it was good to see Magic Mass in that podium position. Esky Man, who was leading the championship, fell by the wayside, but came back in that Corvette to finish 4th. So that was a good run by Esky as well. So let's have a look how the standings are at the moment. The boys are just out in qualifying, and it is wet, guys. So we'll get into the action very shortly, but you can see the Group C drivers' standings. We got Longy out in front, and that's second result from Captain Parallax. Moves him up into second position with Ashley in third. John Slow holds on to 4th position, not too far behind. He'll be looking for a very good showing here tonight. And in the manufacturer's standing, Porsche leading the way on 401 points over the Sauber Mercedes. And obviously the Chev Corvette and the Nissan. We're expecting the Nissan to probably leapfrog the Chevrolet tonight. And in the manufacturer's standing. For the GT Classics for GTL, we've got Esky already using both the Corvette and the Porsche on 92 points, 10 points clear of DDF, who's driven the Porsche for the first 2 opening rounds. We'll see if he's in the Porsche tonight. For the third, they can only drive the Porsche for 3 times and the Corvette 3 times throughout this 6-round championship. And then we've got in 4th position Magic Mass and Zach 18 in 4th position, tied on 73. So expect a very tight battle between both Magic and Zach. Also, Joshua Hill and Left being so close as well. So DDF is in a Porsche tonight. So he's going to open himself up for the vet for the last 3 rounds. So there you go. So for further ado, let's get straight into the stream. And I welcome Max Power to the commentary. Welcome, Max.
Much, Woody, and I'm very pleased and happy to be here on it. In fact, it looks pretty wet out there. I don't know how the guys are doing it, but looks like Mark's doing a great job out there.
Yeah, it looks like he's currently 5th in class. You can see there, guys, if you're looking at the screen there, on the left-hand side is the overall position, and on the right is the actual class position. So at the moment there, obviously, we got Longy in first position in the Group C's and Dado in second. And with this multi-class race, you might be thinking, well, where are some of these drivers that have been throughout the series? Well, they're going to race on Monday. So we had a pre-qualifying session all week, and the drivers had to hit the pre-qualifying session, and the top 10 Group C drivers are in this top split. And then we've got the 12 next best of the best of the GT Classics. Was 14, but 2 were unable to make it, and they decided that Monday is fine for them. So we've kept it to 12. So there's 22 cars in total on the grid. And what do you think, Max? We're going to see some absolute fireworks with the GT Classics. It's a tight championship.
Oh, it's going to be awesome racing tonight. I kind of wish I was out there, but I kind of feel very comfortable sitting here with you tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad that we'll make it as comfortable as you can, Max, and the viewers. Let us know how you're going, how you're enjoying this broadcast. If you're supporting a driver, or anything you can see. So the comms that we're hearing from the garages, though, Max, is this light rain that's out there is not really good for the wets. The wets are actually overheating, so they're finding the slicks are the way to go, Max. That's pretty brave.
Definitely. I can see from glimpses of Mark's tyres, he's got the slicks on, and he's handling it quite well. I've noticed especially some of those corners, they're really hard.
Yeah, so he's in fifth series. He's just come up at there half a second faster than what he's been. So he's closing the gap a little bit. But let's have a look at that battle. We've got Dado Racer at the moment. Second position in this Porsche. He ran this last week in Adelaide. Absolutely enjoyed the change from the Chevrolet GTP Group C car to the Porsche, and has decided to go for it again here at Silverstone, as he's coming now down the hangar straight and into that famous corner as Stowe. So this is an outlap actually at the moment.
And don't the cars look beautiful?
Yeah, they do. They're absolute credit here on AMS2 with how they've reproduced some of these cars. These are just the in-game liveries, nothing special, guys. Obviously, there are people that do the livery packs that you can get from race department that really bring these cars another level to the official type liveries as well. But they're pretty close to some of the official liveries. This corner here is pretty hard, Abby, in the Group C, especially in the wet. But Dado's made it look fairly easy, as he's coming on down now through the last sector of this circuit. We've just under 2 minutes remaining. Longy's leading the way at the moment in the Group Cs, and it is McFly in the pits. The GT Classics, who's got pole at the moment, with DDF in second position. Zach 18 actually in fourth position. He's holding that fourth in front of Mark 860, so obviously a championship contender. Zach 18 in fourth. And yes, it is average sim racing. It's going to be absolutely sensational racing here. Two leagues here in Australia and New Zealand coming together for the opening series of 2024. And we couldn't go past saying, hey, we need multi-class. So let's make it a celebrations for round 3 and the final round when we meet Hockenheim. And T-Bone's asking, will there be an ANZ versus GTL Le Mans race? Max, what do you think? Would that be a good little setup, having ANZ versus GTL, maybe even also against another great Australian league, ARS racing as well? There's plenty there. What else is there? There's the sim room. We could have a 4-way league battle for an ultimate league winner.
Wouldn't that be awesome, mate? And just imagine how many people that would involve.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tasty. With 30 seconds remaining, what have we got here? Dado Racer, I don't think he's up on a time here. So can we have a quick look maybe at Rangy Rover? He's currently in second on track. This is a private qualifying. So yeah, we'll just find out. But to answer T-Bone's question, it is already in the works. And look, T-Bone's up by a little bit, but that's in the second sector, Max. I'm not too sure if he's actually in the first sector. Let's see if he's got anything here in the second sector to see if he can gain a little bit more. He's got to find a second. I think we saw he was 0.2 of a second up on this first sector. And look how gingerly they're taking this corner through here, the club corner, Max. It's just so slippery here in the wet.
Oh, it's so hard. I did some testing earlier, and that's crazy through there, especially on slicks.
So it looks like the ghost cars we've been told too. There's all ghosted cars for private session in qualifying. So none of the classes got involved in any incidents and didn't block each other. But apparently it's sort of showing a bit of a dry line too, has been told back from the feedback from some of the drivers. So Rangy Rover is actually not going to make any inroads here. So it looks like he's going to hold himself in second. DDF's got to have to try and find 2 seconds in that Porsche of his. You think these wet conditions may suit the Porsche, but the outright pace of the Corvettes may be just too strong for the Porsches at the moment, Max.
Oh, the Corvettes have got so much legs, but the complicated parts around this track really will suit the Porsche, especially if it stays wet.
Well, just have a look at this, Max. John Slows put it on pole position at the last part of the qualified. So he's been able to top Longy, who's the championship leader. So great fight back here from John Slow in these wet conditions to take pole position by zero point 0.6 of a, almost zero point 0.7 of a second. So that is pretty impressive from Mr. Slow there in that Nissan.
He's so smooth when you watch him on track too.
Isn't he what? So there we go. So the guys have just finished their qualifying. We'll go down the order here. We've got John Slow on pole. Alongside him will be Longy. Then we've got Dado Racer, who was second for most of that session, but has dropped down to third. So he'll be on the inside, though. So he'll be happy with that, I think, on the second row alongside Captain Parallax. Then Travis Moden, Gun 180, who missed the last round at Adelaide in sixth position on the third row. Seventh row will be Lockie 555 with John Wade alongside him. G Dude finds himself on the inside of Mika the Kid on the fifth row. Then we find the GTLs where they'll be just a little bit behind, but on the front row for the of the GT Classics will be McFly. Then Rangy Rover will share that front row with him. DDF in third and No Frills on the outside of row two. Row three, Zach 18, good run for him in qualifying with Esky Man on the outside of row three. Row four will be Mark 860 with Brad Luck on the inside of row four or row five, I think, Kiz and Joshua Hill. And then on row six, we'll have Truey 84 and Bales McKenzie struggling a little bit there in the wet. So, but still on the grid. So we'll obviously see them move on through. So here we go. So we just got to wait to now continue on. And the guys will be now on a rolling start. Guys that are familiar with gravel trap legends, Max will obviously know that they normally have a standing start for a manual formation with the clock already ticking down. You will see the clock ticking down at the moment up the top, but that's just why they wait for a 2-minute ready up screen, and it'll reset itself once they come around after their formation lap. So it'll be a single file formation, and they'll get up together on a 2x2 start, rolling start, and it'll be go at the green. Drivers hold in formation until they cross the start-finish line, and then they may pass the car next to them. So they can overlap, but not pass the car in front of them until they cross the start-finish line. So what's your pick, Max, at the start? We've got John Slow and Longy sharing the front row. And then obviously the GT Classics, McFly and Rangy Rover. You think they're going to get through that first corner and come out of it in those same positions, or you think there might be some swapperoos?
I reckon it'll be a very gentleman-like start, and we won't see anything happen for the first lap.
Yeah, I think that they'll obviously, with overcast skies here at 3 p.m. race start. Obviously, by the time the race ends, we're thinking that that it should be actually come out to a dry, like a overcast, sunny skies. I mean, a heavy cloud sky. So we should see a bit of a sunset there.
And it looks like the track's dried out quite nicely. It's like a couple hours since qualifying now.
Yeah, that's right. Some they're saying that some are saying that the track is moist, though I'm hearing, and then others are saying it's dry. So that's a little bit strange, but obviously, hopefully, that sorts itself out. But in the meantime, let's have a quick look down the grid, Max. You might want to go through from John Slow as he's taken out on his formation. and go through the order here. You can see Longy in that Porsche, and obviously behind him will be Dado Racer. And the average sim racer saying that Longy's saying that the Nissan, he reckons, have obviously got the advantage here tonight, not the Mercedes. We think of the Mercedes of Captain Parallax here, who we're looking at in the 43. He's got a good chance of taking victory here, as is Travis Moan just behind him in the number 17. You'll see that nice livery there as Gunner just behind him here. So the Group C's have got their lights on. So that'll separate the Group C's to the GT Classics. We got Lockie 555 and in the 21, and then John Wade. He's in the Sauber Mercedes. Dude, as we said, had a great comeback drive last week, so he finds himself again in that Porsche, the green Porsche. It looks a little bit St. Pat's Day, doesn't it, Maxi?
It's got to be lucky green. I like a green car, but not everybody thinks the green cars are safe.
No, they don't. There's some people have some superstitions there. Any viewers, have you got a superstition on colour or even a race number? Let us know if there's some sort of superstition that you make sure that you avoid, or something that you take with you. Do you make sure you wear your red undies or something when you sim race? Let us know. Mika the Kid, here he is in the Mercedes as well. So let's have a look at the pole man in the GT Classics as they're finalising the last part of this lap. We've got McFly in that nice gold Corvette, bronze Corvette, and behind him another Corvette of Rangy Rover. And then DDF in the first of the Porsches, and I've always called that the fairy floss car. And then we've got No Frills, and I believe he's in that classic red Porsche of his. And then Zach 18 again in the Sammy Porsche. He's been doing well in that. And Esky Man's in a Porsche. Quite a few Porsche runners here at Silverstone this week in the top split. The bottom split are going to be running next week as well. I mean on Monday, sorry, tomorrow night. So we might go down the order. Mark 860, we'll pick him up in the Corvette. Of course he will be. And then Brad Luck in the Porsche. Keys in the Porsche as they're all forming up. We're about to get going. We've got Jay Hill in the Corvette. And rounding out the end, we've got Truey and then Bales McKenzie in the classic looking Porsche. So let's go back up the front, see how John Slave fares on the start of this race. So buckle in, everyone, as they come in around here now. The leader has control of the race. It looks like he has gone now, so off he goes. And it looks like Longy actually didn't get onto the side by side with him, so obviously Longy's there, just playing it safe. And look, Dado's under a bit of pressure. A couple of group seats. I think Gun 180 is absolutely in the amongst of it all in the second of the Nissans. It looks like we've got a drive-through at the moment and a disqualification for one of the drivers. It's not too sure how that happened.
Oh no, that's terrible this early.
So John has got a drive-through. So apparently a sync issue that caused a disqualification. I don't know how that happened, but that's obviously how it's happened. So we'll keep it going there. So we'll slot that driver in tomorrow who got the disqualification. So that's okay. So it was Rishi who got the drive-through, I think it might be. But we'll keep an eye on things here, guys. So it's just a few little teething problems. But let's have a little look at the GT Classics just to see how they're going, how they've taken off. We've got obviously McFly flying away there in the lead. So Rangy Rover, there's pretty much spaced out a little bit there. We've got a little battle between Zach 18, it looks like, and Joshua Hill. So John Slow's taking that drive-through penalty nice and early and hoping obviously his safety car will bring things back for him.
plenty of time.
Plenty of time, hopefully, to get him back to the pointy end again. And have a look at Joshua Hill with the power of the Corvette around the outside, thank you, before he hits turn 1 into Copse. And he's been able to hold on to that position up into 4th position. The only reason why he might have got a drive-through penalty in my thing, Viperon, is speeding over 120 at the start of the race. So the leader can't go over 120 before the start-finish line. And I did see the pace go up a little bit early, so maybe that could be a possibility, Viperon. So he might just have to take his medicine there.
Okay, we all have to obey the rules, don't we? And there's so many rules to know.
That's exactly right, and it looks like Gunn obviously benefit there up into 3rd, but we're keeping an eye here. Esky Man at the moment, and he's got a little battle behind him with obviously Mark 860. He's a little bit closer than what the timing seems to show us at the moment by the looks of things here. On our top screen, it's right about 0.3 of a second. May want to go on board Mark 860 as he's trying to get through, seeing if he can get this Corvette through from Esky Man. So if we get onto Mark 860 and right on board onto his roof, here we go. Listen to the Corvette.
Isn't she beautiful?
That's nice, and you can just see he had to back off as he's coming through Abbey and going through Bridge Corner here. The cars are expected to get a little bit slidey during this race.
Especially through here is very difficult.
You can see the Porsche of Esky Man already starting to get a little bit sideways and taking a little bit of the dirt on exit as they come around the final corner to start another lap. So you can already see on your map screen, guys, up on the top right, you can see the solid red dots. They're the Group C cars, and they're not too far away from already lapping some of the GT Classics. So it's going to be pretty intense when these leaders of the Group Cs come to the back of these GT Classics. Isn't this a view of the winter scenes here at Silverstone? The bare naked trees out on the circuit.
Yeah, it looks funny without the trees being green, doesn't it?
It sure does. It just looks cold, doesn't it? I think the temperature's only around about 10 degrees out there. We've track temperatures around the same, so the guys are going to work it hard to try and keep some temp into these tyres. But once they start drifting, I don't think it's going to be a problem, Max. I think you'll find that these tyres will be nice and warm.
I'll be driving a Corvette tomorrow, but I tried the Porsches and gee, it was hard to keep the tyres from melting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought that they'd probably be okay with the cooler temperatures, but obviously not the case. See, there's a nice little battle also with Bales McKenzie way down at back, and Rishi is saying a battle for position 8 at the moment between, we'll keep an eye here. Look at this move here. Has Bales got it on Truey at all? So yeah, guys, Cuckoo's asking Group C, yes, they're going to need to pit for fuel. They won't get to the end of this race without pitting for fuel, and it is a bit of a tricky pit entry here, Max. I think you've obviously experienced the pit entry here. It's just there off to the right, and it sort of ducks and weaves and comes back around here and in there again. So 200k speed limit, but they're definitely going to have to take it easy coming in on the entry point.
Oh, it's a crazy pit lane. I thought I was lost the first time I went in there.
Yeah, we've just got Esky actually just off, and here we got some Group Cs. We're just on board Bales. Just look at them swing by as they're trying to get it done before they get to Mackett's and Beckett's. We may just want to try and get ourselves onto maybe Dado Racer onto one of the group seats, or even stay along here as he's picking through the traffic here. What a perfect time down the hanger straight. Perfect opportunity to make the moves done, and it's nice and clear for the leader of this race. Beautiful camera work here by Max. He's picking up the challenge that the Group C drivers are going to face for this 70-minute race. We've got 1 hour and 2 minutes still remaining. We've only gone through the first 7 minutes of this race. And
this is exciting.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? But unfortunately, we got one driver had a disconnect with a sync issue, or something went wrong there at the start of the lobby, but it's all not lost for him. He'll be able to come back to the race tomorrow night in the bottom split, and here he is. You can just see there Longy just making sure that it was going to be nice and easy for him to get down the inside. Doesn't want to impede. It's up to the Group C's to make that pass nice and clean. The GT Classics are allowed to stay on the racing line, and it's up to the Group C's to make that pass move nice and clean.
The hard part is that you need every bit of the track to keep the GTs on the race line.
Yeah, we may just go back to a little bit. Maybe go back to John Slow on the track cam as they're getting through. He's right behind John Wade. Oh, and we've just been on board there, and you can actually see John Slow's live stream on YouTube. So the average, what is it? Not the slow drive. I forget what his actual YouTube channel is, guys. Someone on the Twitch channel, please let us know what his YouTube channel is. Or Max, you might know what it is.
I'd have to put my glasses on, but it's a Happy Racer, I'm sure.
The Happy Average Racer, or the Happy Something Racer on YouTube, and you'll be actually riding in the cockpit alongside him on his view here. And look at the traffic coming down here, the hanger straight coming into Stowe. So John Slow was lucky to hold on to that car, that Nissan. Almost found the wall half a lap ago, so he's lost touch with John Wade, but he's actually making nice inroads now as John's just trying to get through. I think he's just gone through past the leader of the race. I think that might be McFly. Actually, it's not McFly. I'm trying to think who was in that Corvette. Cuckoo saying parental guidance recommended, especially tonight how the way is going. Is that on John's stream, or is that just generally with a little bit of excessive language maybe? But John Slow's actually not out of this, 20 seconds, and there's a good possibility that we may see a safety car. But also, Max, we've got to remember that this is pretty much the top drivers, or top qualifiers anyway, of both leagues. So maybe we won't see a safety car because the driver level is that little bit higher as well.
The harder the track, the better these guys perform. It's amazing.
Talking about performance, look at John Slow here, trying to see if he can make a move on John Wade, and they're just trying to get past. Oh, John Slow has actually just found that his GT Group C car's a little bit wider than what he thought it was, and just sideswiped, I think, the car that's coming second at the moment, Rangy Rover. So I don't think Rangy's going to be too happy about that. Yes, it was Rangy. So it was mentioned in the driver briefing that the Group Cs must make sure that they can clearly pass these cars because they've got their own battle. But being a side glance, Max, I don't think there would have been any damage to any of the cars there.
The car looks pretty clean. I'm certainly doesn't look like there's any damage.
No, he's got the gold seal of approval there, Max, in the number 15 Corvette. So I'm sure he's okay. And here comes the Paddy of G-Dude, the green Porsche, the number 8.
My lucky number 8.
There you go. So we've got the lucky number, the luck of the Irish, eh? So Zach 18 currently in 5th position as well. He's about 10 seconds in front of Mark 860. And finds him Actually, that's a lie because the timing's not quite right there, the live timing. So in the left-hand side, but the top part of the screen's showing us. We don't even need to know. We can see actually Mark right behind Zach 18. So this is a four-way battle of Porsches here, Max. What a sensational little battle this is shaping up to be.
You'll see the legs on the Corvette in a minute.
Yeah, he's moving all around. Actually, not a four-way, three-way battle once Mark 860 clears Zach 18. But I think Mark 860's actually been caught behind. Zach hasn't been able to pass him since the start of the race, so this is good driving by Zach 18. Currently fourth in the championship, I think it was.
Well, none of the guys are going to make it easy for him, so he's going to have to work for it.
Yeah, exactly right. No one's going to make anything easy in this race. We've seen that. We saw the problems that we've seen John Slow already get himself into. The pole man braking the 120 kilometres an hour at the start of the race, copping himself a drive-through penalty. So things haven't gone his way, but here we go. We got a move here for 5th position, and fighting back down the inside is Zach 18, but just pulls it up before tagging the back of Mark 860's Corvette.
And well done, Mark. He made that stick.
Yeah, that was a textbook move there. Really nicely done, but for a minute then, I thought the Porsche of Zach 18 was just going to come back at him, and here he goes. It looks like the Corvette's off circuit here. He's rejoining back over the curb, and look at him, he's got the weaves going, and Brad Luck's trying his luck here to see if he can get that Corvette further down the field, but Mark 860 holding on. I bet you he had a big white knuckle moment there, Max.
That would have been awesome to have been inside his car and hearing what he was saying.
Yeah, that was around Club Corner, which we said was tricky in the wet, but it can also be tricky in the dry. It's such a long right-hand corner, and it's sort of like a double apex. It's tight on entry, and it just sort of comes a little, it evens out. It sort of opens up a bit on exit, but trying to get the power down on these cars with so much horsepower. And here we go, the leader of the race coming on through. I think that's Longy, so yes it is. So Longy smashing it through here. So this is the second time he's lapping these guys, and we're only on to lap 10. So it looks like every 5 laps, these drivers are starting to lap the smaller class.
They could lap him over 10 times, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
It's starting to get a bit dark out there. You can see a real difference from the lights on.
Yeah, with the overcast skies, obviously, but we're hoping that that will break. The clouds will start to burn up, hopefully near the end of the race, as they just go past. I think that's maybe DDF, I think, in the Porsche. Yes, it is. So DDF here, and look at the pace there of Gun 180. Absolutely smashed it through there as Captain Parallax following him as well in the bronze Mercedes. That was pretty impressive. Tell you what, I'm hearing the commentary, Max, and my heart was absolutely thumping then when I saw the speed that Gunner closed in on DDF.
He's an awesome driver. I really like him. He does really well.
You can see how it's just costing these drivers a little bit of time to their best time. So 2.6 seconds slower than his best time for Captain Parallax. But that's because he's threading the needle through some of the GT Classic class. As Kiss has now moved up, I think, up into 5th position. Something's happened here. Zach 18, something's happened to him. I think he's down now in 8th position and dropping further. He's in 9th. So I don't know if we can act in 10th. So he's obviously had a spin or something. So he looks like he's recovered.
Can't see any damage.
And I think it's a safety car. Oh, I think they're all slowed down here. So we've got a Group C car in the barrier there out of the exit of the final corner. Oh, I think that could have been maybe Mika the Kid. I'm not 100% sure, but not Mika the Kid, sorry, Captain Parallax. Or maybe even John Wade, so I'm not too sure. No, they look all right. So it'll be one that's actually behind the Group C's coming down the hangar straight. So maybe John Wade, maybe, of the Group C's that was in the war. Not 100% sure, but we'll try and find out. Actually, could have been Lockie 555. If we go on Lockie 555 and let's see if he's got any damage there, because he was higher up and he's down. So this is the man. Yes, he's got no wing. And he's finding his way through to get into the pits for repair. So let's just have a breather here, Max, and let's just explain how this Gravel Trap Legends safety car works. So when there's been a couple of cars involved, so I'm assuming he was trying to get through some lap traffic and has tagged a car and they've both gone off and they've caused the safety car. So that means the leader now slows down. The pits are open and looks like Gun 180 is actually in the pits there on our screen as well. So people can take the opportunity to pit and we all form up. Once the cars all get back in order again, we will restart the race. There's usually no more than 2 laps from memory, Max.
Normally, no, that's right, mate. The car doesn't look too badly damaged, but it will take quite some time to put a new rear wing on it.
Yeah, that's right. So any car that's coming into the pits and then coming out, if they come out in front of their class car because they've been able to zoom through to get into the pits for damage and actually come out in front, they must wait at the exit of pit lane before the queue comes through and then join at the rear. So we're going to have all the Group C cars filtered through, so they'll be all bunched together, and then we'll have the GT Classics all bunching together behind themselves. So hopefully that will be all happening. I'll just send a quick message to race control and hopefully they can get that sorted. So if we just have a little look at maybe McFly, who's the leading. Oh, they're way back. They're over there, so they're going to have to try to find themselves. They should be trying to find themselves at the front of the queue here, I think. Not too sure how this is operating. Oh, they're slowing down because if they keep going, they may end up becoming actually a lap in front of their competition. So they're slowing down. Yeah, T-Bone Stewie's race control. So we just hopefully let the... So I think it's only... Can we just go to... who have we got in third place? Jay Hill. Can we just go to Jay Hill to see where he is?
He's on there, buddy.
Okay, so Rangy Rover and McFly need to slow down, I believe. I might just quickly go over to the race channel, guys, and just let them know so we can clear this up before the race start. I'll be back very shortly.
Awesome. So that means that I'm in control. Look out. This is fun. There's so many buttons.
Thank you, everybody. I'm passing on the right. Group C's in front.
Coming through, Mark, and everyone else, Kiz, on the right.
We're going to need another lap to do that.
We're going to slow up.
What? Oh.
So do you want P3 to come through, or do you want P1 and 2 to slow? Sorry, my bad.
Should I be jumping in front
I'm
of
slowing
Lockie?
right down.
I'm not sure. Or, oh, he's just a lap down. All good, all good.
No, I'm a lap down. I was in the pits and I came out of
That's
out of the pits here. That's all.
I'm
Yeah, all
staying
good.
right, Group C.
Mhm.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Thanks, Woody.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. That's good.
I'm not saying anyone's slowing down. We're still all in a pack. There's.
Okay, on my map, I'm seeing the group C's are now all through.
I stayed him. My bad.
So,
Thanks, Woody.
thanks, Woody.
If the leader's going to go early, can you just give us a go, go, go?
Yeah, I think we can do this a little bit more formal than this. So,
Okay, I'm back. So it looks like the guys they've just got themselves sorted. Thanks for holding the fort there, Maxi. So all the guys now have got themselves in the class how they should be. There is one blue dot you can see there in the Group C's. That will be actually Lockie 555 in 10th position because he fell a lap down there with those repairs. And as we could see, Lockie, I think Max was the car that was involved in that incident out of the final corner. So he's back there, about a lap down. And the car just behind him will be Mika the Kid, I believe, in 9th. But obviously, he should be able to make that clear of Lockie. But Lockie may try and see if he can get through the field, because if he can get through the field, Max, and it's a tall ask because he's got some very fast drivers in front of him. But if he can happen to get in front of Longy, he's got a good possibility if another safety car comes out that he can then get a lap around and then be back on that lead lap. So that's the beautiful thing about a bit of endurance and multi-class racing, Max. The race is never over.
Anything could happen, mate. I think it's a long task for him to be able to do that, but if anyone could do it, it certainly could be him.
And look at this, John Slow now, the man that was pole in 5th position on that lead lap, or he was already on the lead lap, but this safety car has absolutely benefited him, and I would guess he'll be a lot calmer now after having that drive-through for the start of the race. So here they go. They look like they're a little bit anxious to get going, Maxi. They're going this time around.
I'd be on the edge of my seat, mate.
Yeah, a bit of games happening here between some of this mid-pack of the Group C's. They're really biting at the bit to get going, but here goes Longy. He's got the control. He'll be saying go, 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 so they know they've got a little bit of a gap to the GT Classics. They've pulled the gap a little bit closer now, as you can see. So here we go. So Longy has gone, but let's have a little look at Travis Moan in second position after Gunner opted as Travis bounces over the curbs. And just to let everyone know, we're in winter conditions here, so maybe those tyres, you saw them weaving before the start of the restart of this race, and Dado's getting absolutely swamped behind there as John Slow's trying to make a move. But Dado, the veteran, is holding strong here. Oh, saying that, almost a commentator's curse. He got a little wiggle and it's cost him. And both John Slow and Captain Parallax have made that move, but have a look at them go through here at the moment. They're having a big push at the moment for this restart, and as they said in the commentary, in the comments, that safety cars breed safety cars, Max.
Oh, they certainly do, mate. And those tyres will take at least a good lap to get back up to temperature.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head of the hammer on the what do you say, the nail on the hammer. With that, the tyres will take about a lap to get back up to their operating window. But isn't this exciting for third position? Actually for second, because no, it is for third position. Captain Parallax putting all the pressure on John Slow. Flames billowing out of the exhaust here of the Nissan. What a great era these were. These Group Cs were out of control.
I got to test one the other night, and gee, they're fast.
Oh, they are fast. And in real life, you don't realise how small they are. They're so tiny, you wonder how the driver even fits into the things.
But you look at them, they're right up there, aren't they, in the front there?
They are, and their head's almost hitting the roof, so there's not much room in those cars. Been lucky enough to see a couple when they do their little historical runs at different circuits around Australia, and yeah, they sort of blow your mind. I always thought they were a big sort of car, but no, they're not. They're very small. As he's up on his fastest time, John Slow, on this restart, so first sector's going fairly well for Mr. Slow.
Well, that safety car certainly helped him bring up the pack together, so it could be a very interesting race now.
Well, have a look at the GT Classics behind them as well. It's absolutely very close for probably positions 6, 7, 8 and 9. So again, Mark and Brad Luck's probably in the thick of things here, so we may have a little look at these guys as it's really hotting up again. So Mark 860 has been able to obviously clear the other Porsches of, I think it was Zach 18, Kears and Brad Luck. And Zach 18, obviously at that time of that yellow as well, the full course yellow, Zach 18 was dropping. So maybe he was involved, unfortunately, with that incident with Lockie, Max. We're not too sure. But it'd be interesting. His car looks fairly clean. We did see that, but maybe something happened there. I'm not too sure, but he was in 5th position and he's dropped down to 8th, 4 positions just before that safety car was announced.
And it really unsettles you, you know, once that sort of all happened. It takes me a good 5 laps to settle right down again.
I tell you what though, Zach 18, half a second up on his best lap out of the 2nd sector into the 3rd sector here. So he's really on a charge here. He's putting a lot of pressure on Kears and Brad Luck. Look at this battle of Porsches. We've got 5 Porsches down the inside, I think, from Kears, I think, on Brad Luck. It looks like Kears has made a move there. Brad Luck's holding the outside. And Zach 18 decides to go a little bit rallycross and takes the dry grass on the outside of the circuit.
That's a risky move.
It sure is, and these curbs can catch you out as well. They can unsettle the car a little bit, but this is an absolute Porsche Cup race for the GT Classics at the moment. We've got Brad Luck leading from Kiz, and it goes down from there. We've got Zach 18, then we've got Eskimo, Bales McKenzie. Oh, and Zach 18's just maybe pushing that a little bit too hard.
It's very hard when you got so much pressure behind you.
Yeah, that's right, and you're trying to also make, he's trying to make a move also on Kiz at the same time. So not only is he looking in front and trying to position his car to make an overtake, he's got to be mindful of the car behind of Esky Man, trying to dip his nose down the inside if he can. And I'll tell you what, Esky Man will dive that Porsche down if an opening does present itself to him.
Yeah, he's very quick, he is.
So we had a word from also the average racer as well, saying John Slow has had a great comeback, obviously in third position. Just doesn't have the pace of the leading two at the moment, but he's under pressure by Captain Parallax. Look at this battle for third position in the Group Cs. This is exciting. Round the outside, if you don't mind, around Abbey. That is commitment right there before he comes under the bridge. Now that was some beautiful driving by the captain.
You're not wrong. I can't believe him. He got you there.
I think he got John Slow napping then. Haven't seen a car attempt to overtake around the outside of Abbey, but there you go, the Mercedes. And he's actually pulling away now. So obviously John Slow in the Nissan just not quite up to pace, or just not feeling comfortable in that car. And he's got the sister car right behind him in gun 180 as well. About 4 seconds behind John in 5th position. So he's gunner. Seeing if he can try and latch on the back of John Sloan. We'll have a Team Nissan 1-2 for position 4 and 5. And it looks like G-Dude just in front of Mika the Kid as well. So Mika the Kid is finding himself in a little battle with G-Dude. And we've got Lockie 555 after having his repairs done from losing the rear wing, a lap down. Just happy there, just cruising behind Mika. He doesn't want to cause any problems in the same class here, as he is a lap down. But if he's got the opportunity to make a pass, I know Lockie, he will do it, and he'll only do it if it's clean. So he'll be a little bit ashamed of himself, I think, after causing probably that first safety car. He's one of those drivers, Lockie, that wears his heart on the sleeve, you could say, and he really does try and promote nice, clean racing. And obviously, incidents can happen to the best of them, can't they, Max?
Oh, it plays on your mind for the rest of the race, you know, and you start second-guessing yourself, and that's when other things go wrong.
So we've just gone past the halfway distance of this race. So just a quick recap, we've got Longy in first position over Travis Moan, who's about 2 seconds behind him. Captain Parallax has just made a move a lap before on John Slow to be in third position. So John Slow in fourth, Gunner in fifth. John Wade will be in sixth position. And then we have Dado Racer, who just couldn't get that number 7 Porsche going on the restart and dropped quite a few places. So he's in 7th. G-Dude in 8th. And just holding himself with a little bit of a gap between himself and Mika the Kid, with Lockie holding that middle spot there, but he's actually a lap down in 10th. Now, in the GT Classics, it is absolutely on. We got McFly leading the race in this Corvette, and he has got himself a nice 3-second margin on Rangy, who's in second position, and he's been cleared as well of Joshua Hill in third position. Then we have DDF in the first of the Porsches in fourth position in that Flary Foss Carnival sort of car. And then we got Mark 860 in, I think this might be the last time he's in the Corvette as well. I think he's going to use up 3 of his Corvettes this time around. So nice livery, that one too, as he's letting some of the Group C's through. Brad Luck will be just behind him in the Porsche. You can just see the nose of that yellow Porsche trying to sneakily make a move as some of these Group C's coming on down. And look at Mark 860 moving. He's almost making a mobile chicane, but at the same time, he's taken his racing line, which the Group C's know that the GT Classics have the right to do. And Looks like Esky Man almost making a move on Kiss. And oh, Mark's just gone out on the grass, dropping a couple of positions and rejoining a little bit on the naughty side there, collecting Kiss. But I think the stewards may just let that one go by as a racing incident. Markets, I think it's we'll be having a look at that, I think, after the race. But the main thing when he rejoined there, he joined as straight as he can on the circuit there, but it was just unfortunate that it looked like Kiz was just almost side by side with him, as we got Travis Moan in the pits of the Group C. So this is unscheduled, so this could be for damage as he's come out too now. So maybe it was even a drive-through. So there's a possibility that could have been a drive-through penalty. For track cut limits, there's only 3 allowed.
It's a big track to only have 3 track limits, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. But, you know, at the end of the day, they got to behave themselves. And we saw at Adelaide, the track cut limits was actually not a disadvantage because it was a little bit less of a distance to come into the pit lane. You still had a tight corner to come into pit lane, but so's the final corner there at Adelaide. But because it was a less distance, they were actually able to get out of that pit lane faster than the cars actually on circuit, especially the GT Classics. Group C's, they held them up just a little bit because they did have to be on the limiter just before the end because they reached about 220 through pit lane without a pit limiter on. So they did have to slow that little bit down before exit. But this week, definitely a lot slower to get into the pit lane. But anyway, Travis Moan is moving on through now. So that's promoted G2 to Mika the Kid. Oh, what was that? That's a stationary disconnected car, I think, of one of the cars we've just lost, unfortunately.
Looked like a Porsche.
Yeah, I think it might have been the Corvette, to be honest. Not 100% sure who it may have been. We've still got McFly and Rangy up in the front with 1 and 2. Mark 860 is still there. Got himself still in front of Kiz. He was in front of Esky Man before he ran off the track. You can just see how much that's cost him. And it looks like Brad Luck is under pressure as well from Esky Man.
You'd be feeling him right down.
As it looks like now, Max, that sky, as those clouds have started to wisp away a bit, you can see the sun in the eyes of Brad Luck. So maybe we go on roof cam of Esky Man, and we can probably see, or even in-car camera, I think we've got an in-car camera of Esky Man. And in the cockpit, probably the cockpit, you can see, there you go. So the sun is starting to break through those clouds as it's setting.
Some parts of the track, that'll be very difficult.
Oh, well, with that glare. But look at, I've just seen in the rear view mirror, it's just how good some of the visuals are here on AMS2. You can see the cars, and you're just having a look at Mark 860 as well, showing the nose down the inside on the run into that corner. And so you've got a few, actually that's what's happening with the Group C's. I absolutely had a mind stoppage at that time. They're all pitting now for fuel, some of the drivers. So it is a scheduled stop for some of these Group C's. And do you know what, Max? I honestly think that Gun 180 might have absolutely put a number on these drivers because he pitted during the safety car, didn't he? And that may have just been for fuel and to get him to the end. So we'll keep an eye on Gun 180. He's 17 seconds off the lead of Longy, but he may not have to pit again. And so there's a good possibility that we may see this Nissan actually take the checkered flag. We got John Slow. He's yet to pit. I don't think he can get to the end. He had to have a drive-through, but he couldn't have got any fuel. So Gunn may not have to pit for the remainder of this race. So big news there.
Such a smooth driver. Just watch how he keeps this in control.
Yeah, it's amazing just to see how he's on his racecraft here, how he can just keep this car, the motoring, through these corners. Is he going to get held up here? Yes, it's got caught out here, but he's been able to get down the inside. Nice driving by the GT Classic driver. I think that may just have been the Truey. I think it could have been Truey 84 or Bales, one of those guys. But here they go. They're coming down through now as we ride the roof of the Nissan. And look at that sun, Max. That is blinding as they come out through Chapel. Yeah, coming through Beckett's and Chapel here onto the Hangar Straight. Oh, look at the Corvette of Max. I mean, of Mark. He's absolutely spun it around there. I think he was going for a move. Locked the rears by the looks of things. He's got himself going again. Oh, there's more smoke as cars out on the track up ahead. So it's all happening as the Group C's now trying to get through this busy pack of GT Classics. They're saying someone clipped Mark 860 again. It could have been maybe Gunner or John Slow, one of the Nissans in front. So that's why he's probably come off the circuit.
Car looks pretty straight.
Yeah, it might have just been a little nudge. It doesn't take much though, because as we know, these cars are on the limit of grip. So you could almost just touch them with your pinky, couldn't you, when they're fully loaded up, and they'll probably go for a spin.
Oh, it seems to be especially that way with the Corvettes.
As we get some drivers now coming into the pits, so we've got both Longy and John Slow in the pits. Let's have a look at Gun 180. If he doesn't come into the pits, I would be assuming, as no, Gun's coming into the pits as well, so he wouldn't get to the end without fuel, but his stop's going to be less than these other drivers for their fuel. So Longy's leaving the pit lane. There's a good chance that we will see Gun 180 actually take the position from John Slow. And we've got a safety car by the looks of things. Is Longy actually slowing down and not actually at race pace coming through Beckett's? I don't think he is.
That's much slower than normal.
So can we just have a look to see where McFly is, please? Okay, so we've got these guys here. So they're going to have to let the leading Group C cars come on through. So here we go. So we should be doing the same thing. It looks like the guys know what they're doing this time around. So they're going to slow down. Let the Group C's come on through. And it's all sorted. So hopefully this safety car won't be too long. We may get one more lap. So there's a few cars coming out of pit lane. So they will be, I would say, the GT, the Group C's. So there we go. So the leader of the GT Classics is this man here, McFly. We got 24 minutes remaining. The last 5 minutes, there's no more safety cars. But look at behind him. We've got Rangy Rover that hasn't been able to do much to really trouble McFly. But now with 24 minutes remaining, knowing this is the last part of the race, there's a good possibility that we may just see Rangy throw everything at McFly now on this restart. But then we've got a whole bag of Porsches. We've got DDF, who's been holding third for a long part of the race. Then Brad Luck, Esky Man Kiz, Zach 18, Bales McKenzie in 8th, and then Mark 860, the next of the Corvettes, all the way in 9th position there. So here we go. So the drivers are getting ready for a restart. They're going this time around by the looks of things. So let's have a look to see. Have a look to see how they may go with McFly and Rangy Rover. As the Group C's look like they're maybe starting this race. So we'll just see if these guys take off at the same time. It looks like they're going for maybe one more lap. So it looks like they're doing one more lap as the Group C's just get onto the back of their queue. And it looks like that's giving... I'm just trying to see where we've got Lockie 555. It looks like Lockie 555 is actually been disconnected as well. So maybe he was one of the drivers that disconnected. Or in the pits. We've got a couple of stationary drivers there out on the circuit. We've got one moving now, coming around the Stowe and Vale down the bottom part of the circuit. Not too sure who that will be. So we're going to have a restart here on the back straight here of Hanger Straight. So here we go, guys. They're going to start here on this straight. As I'll just confirming the car that was stationary down the back of Stowe was still going. So they've actually started this race and we've lost one of the Group C's. And look down the outside or inside, is it? Inside from John Slow. Have a look at Longy. So Travis Moans finds himself now all the way in 5th as the gaggle of Mercedes now up into 3rd, 4th and 5th. And John Slow, keep an eye on John Slow, I think, because he's actually throwing everything bar the kitchen sink at Longy.
This is probably the opportunity he's been waiting for.
Well, that's it. He was on pole position. Copped a drive through for what we believe was speeding before the start. So
and now they're all fueled up. This is going to be like a sprint race to the end.
That's pretty much what it is, Max. You caught it right there. It is definitely a sprint for all cars involved. And Mark 860 actually just had a crash all on his own. So he tapped DDF. So obviously trying to fight DDF, and it looks like he's got himself going again. He's not too far away from the train of GT Classics. So he should be able to hopefully get himself back into the fight, as he's got Chewy 84 in front of him and then Bales. So I think he's got the pace to maybe climb himself up to 8th, Max.
Oh, he's definitely got the pace. Whether he's damaged that car or not, that's the question.
Yeah, it looks all right. I think he just had a spin more than anything, and maybe a little touch, as we're hearing from race control from DDF. But everything looks okay, doesn't it? So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it looks clean and straight.
Bouncing over the curbs as he goes. So let's have a now look at down at Gun 180, as he's right in the middle of a great battle of some Mercedes in the Group C class. As he's trying to see if he can... He's actually cleared Mick of the Kid a little bit, and he's seen if he can get onto Captain Parallax. We may just want to have a look at Captain Parallax to see how he's going, because he's looking to try and make a move. He seems faster than Travis Moan in 3rd position, and he knows he's got a very fast driver behind him in Gunner in that Nissan, so he would love to put himself up in front of Travis Moan to have a little bit of a buffer between himself and Gun 180. And look at the pace they're having down the start-finish straight. They are absolutely smashing it here, and then coming through Corpse. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky in these cars, coming out through, going through Maggots and Beckett's. They just don't want to clip too much of the curb. It can really throw the cars out. They're high curbs around here in the old historic version of the 91 layout. As John Wade in the Group C's have come into the pits as well. So obviously something happened there. And Dado Racer finds himself all the way in 9th position. So I think he was one of the drivers that actually was obviously stationary down the bottom of Stowe during that last safety car. So maybe some hardware failure or something happened.
Okay.
Motoring now. So I think it's time to have a look at that leader between McFly and obviously Rangy Rover, because look at Rangy go now. So making sure that McFly does not get away on him here on this last part of the race. We've got the last 18 minutes remaining. And those headlights, aren't they bright now with the high beams introduced into the game too?
Oh, they're so good. I had a night race the other night and it made such a difference.
It's a nice little afternoon here in the Midlands here at Silverstone, as we all know, an old airfield. And probably one of the most exciting racetracks that hold all types of motorsport throughout the year, especially in the current layout. Home to the British Grand Prix. And also home to the Power and Glory here at Gravel Trap Legends and ANZ CRL. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Now's the time for you viewers to start letting us know who's going to win in each of these classes. We've got Longy and John Slow going at it, 2 seconds the margin in the Group C's, and we're watching the battle here for first position in the GT Classics between McFly and Rangy Rover. Will DDF do something absolutely out of this world and put the Porsche in front? He's not too far away. He's ready to pounce if anything happens. 6 seconds behind. He's actually is losing touch, actually. My apologies. Working the Porsche very, very hard. It gives it a different dynamic, doesn't it, when you're racing at different seasons here on AMS2, as we already mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Max, where you know you don't have the leaves on the trees, you got the bare trees around the circuit. One of the most impressive circuits to do that is obviously the Nordschleife. It actually looks so different, the circuit, when you drive around there in the winter.
Oh, you're not wrong. And Brands Hatch, that looks so totally different when the trees are naked there.
Yeah, and there's some circuits too, depending when in the winter too. You got snow on the side of the circuit, like on the in the hills, and also on the bits of the grass area of the circuit, which really adds an element to your racing as well.
Oh, the detail that they go to is amazing. Like especially around the dusk when it's just about the sun's gone down, and you see all the caravans on the side of the track and the little bonfires. It's so cool.
As Dado Racer just comes screaming past third place of the GT Classics at DDF, and Dado's trying to keep on the lead lap if he can. He's not too far in front of Longy, who you can see the red dot on your screen. He's not too far behind, so I think Dado may for a lap down here. Something happened on that last safety car for Dado, so he won't be happy about that either. So he'll be hoping for some sort of safety car, and there is a yellow actually popped up on our screen around Priory Corner in Brooklyn. So wonder if that's involved a couple of cars, because we may just see a safety car being called. There's a couple of cars stationary. I think it might only be the one car. Actually, look at what's happening here with the Porsche. Oh, this is so close. Esky absolutely having a tank slapper, trying to get out of the way of the oncoming cars. And we've got a spinning car there of the 68 and a couple of the Porsches here trying to get going. So they've all gone into the avoiding action. And I think we've got the third of our safety cars. So John stopped on the side of the track. Can we try and find out what's happening to John Slow at the moment? Be interesting if anyone's looking at his live broadcast to see if something's happened. Maybe his wheel's disconnected or something's happening. We've seen this happen in the game lately. Oh, this is a cruel blow. This might have what's happened to Dado as well. All of a sudden, you're trying to get your steering wheel and your pedals to go.
Yeah, he's definitely having technical difficulties.
Yeah, you might just have to try and maybe sometimes you turn the don't turn the game off, but go back to one of your main screens on Windows and come back to the game. Sometimes it resets. I'm not too sure. Cuckoo saying clutch. No, I haven't. None of these drivers have had any problems with clutch whatsoever in this game. Oh, well, with the Group Cs, we've seen them obviously in the GT Classics.
Pack's about to come on him.
So apparently something about Gunnar. We're saying it's going. He's not seen Esky. It was the crash. So there's some sort of crash we're hearing from race control as John Slow, I think, has returned. Yeah, he's into the pit. So unfortunately, something there for John Slow. So here we go. So what do we got? We got Longy, who's going to have the lead of this race. And we've got Dado Racer coming back around the back end of the circuit, getting that lap to stay on that lead lap. He was lucky there in the end. We'll just see if they're going to start this race. We're getting close to the end. So yeah, John Slow has retired.
He'd be gutted, mate.
Yeah, we feel for him, but sometimes these things happen. It'll be interesting to get that feedback later on just to see if it was a wheel issue or something getting disconnected. I don't know if you can remember. I know I've had an experience a couple of times in the V8 Supercars late last year. It happened for 2 rounds in a row. I'd be driving, then all of a sudden there'll be nothing on my wheel. My car would keep going. I couldn't control it. And I found, I don't know what I pressed, but eventually the wheels come back. But normally you got a lot of damage at that time. So I'm pretty sure it was me going back to the Windows and then coming back to the game, and then I had controls of the wheel again. But anyway, a few little problems here with some hardware. And we'll see if they're going to restart on the back straight again or if they're going to go around to the start. It looks like they're going to wait to the start line this time around. So we've just going to be under 10 minutes remaining once they restart this race, guys. And we will have Longy, who's led this race all the way, will be leading Travis Moan, who finds himself back into second position with Captain Parallax in third. Gun 180 in fourth. Mika the Kid. Now, this is a good run for Mika the Kid. I think he was actually last in the first part of the race. Now up into fifth position. So this has been a very patient drive by Mika to find himself in the top 5. And then we got G-Dude, who's still lurking in the Luck of the Irish Green Porsche in Max's favourite number 8. And then John Wade.
It's looking clean.
It is looking clean. John Wade in 7th, and then Dado Racer, who's now back on the lead lap. And he's still got a bit to try and get to the back of the field. He'll be going as hard as he can, but they may just start without him. But there's a good possibility that he may catch him because he's got a bit of fast part of the circuit still to be able to get onto the back. But he's just got to make sure he can clear these GT Classics nice and clean. Talking about the GT Classics, Max, we got McFly, who, again, another driver like Longy, has led this race the whole way. With Rangy Rover, we saw him being very aggressive in that restart last time around. So expect some fireworks here between. Rangy will definitely love to take a victory here at GTL for the GT Classics, and this may be his opportunity. And then we got DDF in the Porsche. It's just lacking that little bit of speed. Thanks, Cuckoo. He's saying it's a pretty action-packed race. It sure has been. We've seen a bit of attrition here with a couple of DNFs, a couple of retirements, I should say. Zach 18 has found himself all the way back into 4th position. He was 8th only about 15 minutes ago. So what we've missed how that was probably that incident we've seen before with Kiz, Brad Luck and everyone coming off the circuit just before the safety car. So let's see how we go. We've got the restart as Dade screams by. And here we go. Longy takes them through the start of the race. Travis Moan holds that second position and up on the curb like he has each time on the restart. Captain Parallax, he's got something to say here in that bronze McLaren and then the Mercedes. And the setting sun now is really showing some nice colours here in the game. And what have we got? We've got a Porsche, Sauber Mercedes, and Nissan, and then another Mercedes in 5th position of Mika the Kid. What a drive by Mika in the 31. Centaur Investments Mercedes. So can he hold on? And it looks like Dado Races made easy work on G-Dude on the restart as well. So Dado's already up 1 spot, up into 7th, and putting a bit of pressure on John Wade for 6. So Dado's going to really make sure that he makes the most out of this little bit of a lucky dog lap that he got after being almost a lap down. Aren't they quick over the hill as they come into bridge here, Max? It's absolutely insane.
They look sensational too, don't they?
Yeah, I remember when the Formula One used to come up over the hill, it was pretty expensive. I mean, it's pretty expensive, sorry. It was pretty impressive. Seeing how fast they went up over the hill and then come down under the bridge into the bridge corner. They were just so fast.
Oh, they look beautiful in the sunset.
They sure do. And from the team Nissan, they're saying that it sounds like John Slow's wheel has actually just gone kaput at the moment. There's nothing happening in his. So he's got some electronic gremlin. So that's unfortunate, as he was in a battle there in 3rd position to hunt down Travis Moan. But look at this battle. Here we go, McFly. Can he hold on? He's got 6.5 minutes remaining. We've got just over a minute left of this race before there'll be no more safety cars being able to be called. So can he hold on here, McFly? We're right in on board now with Rangy. Look at Rangy up over the curb here as he enters Maggots. Comes through here into Beckett's here, this tight right-hander. It seems to just go forever. You want to get on the throttle. And here you go past the chapel and onto the Great Hanger Straight. This is a good part of the circuit here. This is where they got to really get their braking right for Stowe. They can lose a ton of time if they drift too wide because it tightens up a little bit in this version. You got to keep it going here and then get a nice run because you got this little kink. You want to get on that full throttle. Oh, there's a bit of smoke gets thrown up by McFly as he uses all the suspension in that Corvette. And look at this part of the circuit, so slow. And this is club. This is the part where they want to get on the power. You can just see here Rangy fighting the horsepower, trying to get those rear tyres to grip. And then he comes through Abbey. We've seen a Group C car overtake around the outside. Another Group C through here early in the race. We've had so much action into bridge. Here we go, this part. Look at the slip angle of the Corvettes. And Rangy's absolutely giving McFly a test here of character. Look at Rangy go, Max.
This is exciting stuff. Rangy's really been putting some time in and his lap times are proving it.
He's going to have a look down Lutfield. Here we go. Rangy loves Lutfield's corner. He's going to make this move. They're side by side. Who's going to get the power on it? Looks like Rangy, but McFly's still arguing the point on the outside, pushing Rangy all the way. And here he goes. Rangy's made that move. Here he goes with under 5 minutes, 4 minutes remaining. He's finally taken the lead of the race. This has been a 70-minute race. It's been 65 minutes of Rangy being on the back of McFly, and McFly's coming back at him through Maggots. This is going to be brave. Oh, you just can't do that. But McFly has said, yes, we can. He's gone around the outside of Maggots, set himself up, and Rangy has got to do it all over again.
He's done it once. I'm sure he can do it again, but he's certainly going to game against him with McFly. He's a really good driver.
Oh, sure is. And T-Bone's got all the support to McFly. No one here that's been watching has actually given me a reply to say who's going to win this race in these classes. They've kept it quiet, but I think T-Bone has just let us know he's barracking for McFly. But I tell you what, Rangy's had some experience around here on Thursday night. He was in the support category of the Group A's in the wet and was going fairly well. Had a big comeback drive, but then just was on the wrong tyres at the wrong time. Cost him a few positions, but here he goes now. He's trying to make amends here and take victory for round 3. We got a good battle as well with Captain Parallax trying to make a move by the looks of things on Travis Moan for second place in the Group C's as well. Oh, it's Travis Moan as we just get on board of him runs wide. We may want to see trackside, see what happens here as he's trying to get that power on. Fighting it. Where's Captain Parallax? He's somewhere there off our screen. I think he's in front. He's made the move, so he's actually up into second. So Captain Parallax absolutely made the most out of Travis Moan's mistake. I think that was coming also out of Club Corner where we were saying before how it's so hard to get that power down. And it's just as hard in these Group C's as well. So let's go back to the battle, I would say, for the GT Classics between McFly and Rangy. Oh, look at the angle that McFly decided to get in through Maggots there. It's not an angle that you'd normally like to take.
It's definitely not easy, but these guys are doing fabulous.
Oh, they've been a class of their own here tonight, both McFly and Rangy Rover. Let's not take anything away from also Zach 18, also DDF as well. Third position in that Porsche position, leading the Porsches home. But Zach 18's been up and down like a yo-yo, as has Mark 860. And Mark 860's found himself back in a 5th position.
Never forget Mark, he's really good.
Yeah, so he's got himself in front of Brad Luck and Kids after they have a little bit of wobble as we got some of these Group C's just putting a lap on them for the last time as we're going to be getting into our last lap. Next time around, we've got the 2 Group C's coming now into Bridge Corner. As Travis Moan goes around the outside of Mark 860, still trying to get a battle. He's still trying to get Captain Parallax here, so maybe we might want to have a little look here at Captain Parallax and Travis Moan as the battle is well and truly on as they hit in through some of the GT Classics for the last time. And it looks like Captain Parallax may just find himself coming home in second position. So the final lap around here at the moment. Captain Parallax came second last week at Adelaide. Can he make it for 2 from 2? Longy is going to make it 3 from 3. Bar a bit of a bad luck, but he's well and truly out in front at this stage. And we've still got this big battle going on for the GT Classics between McFly and Rangy. So we may want to cut to that very shortly as well, because I think second place is sorted for the Group C's as well. So let's find ourselves onto McFly and Rangy as they've actually been, they're just getting lapped here now. So it looks like McFly has been able to get a gap on Rangy. So it looks like all but done. So we may just have to pick up on Longy to take to the checkers. So if we get on Longy to see him take the checker, we're going to come through Abbey for the last time. He's done a sensational job here in the Sauber C9 and the number 55. I mean, not the Sauber, in the Porsche, sorry, the number 55. He's actually going to set the fastest lap, I think, on the last lap. He's up in the second sector. He's in the final sector now. He was 1.1 of a second up.
What a drive, eh?
Congratulations to Longy. Switching from the Mercedes to the Porsche for round 3. And he takes the top split with 39 laps around Silverstone. And let's have a look at Captain Parallax come on through. There he goes into second with Travis Moan. Let's pick up the McFly for the GT Classics because he well and truly deserves this victory as well. He lost the lead 2 laps ago, regained it from Rangy, and what a terrific victory here from McFly. Takes it home in first place. Awesome drive from him, and let's not discredit Rangy. He gave us some absolute sensational viewing there in second position. It looks like DDF He's going to hold on to third position. He's going to hold on just in front of Zach 18. Look at Zach 18 going for the third position as well. That was right on at the very end as well. So Zach 18 found some late pace. Thank you, Cuckoo. Thanks for watching and tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, T-Bone. Your man got up longy. So awesome job here. Make sure that we all tune in tomorrow as well. We've got split 2. We're going to have some of these Group C drivers maybe in on tomorrow, and also some of the GT Classics. I think there was a couple of DNFs early on, so they may get the opportunity to join in tomorrow night. But let's have a go through the results. Max, we got Longy in first position over Captain Parallax. Travis Moan came home in third position after almost getting a position, but when they got to the lap traffic on that last couple of laps, he fell by the wayside. Gun 180 didn't have that pace in that Nissan in fourth position, but only just in front of Mika the Kid in fifth. That was a great drive. He was 10th for the first start of the race and come home in fifth. So beautiful job by Mika. John Wade in sixth, picking up the pieces, as did Dado Racer. G-Dude in eighth. And let's go through the GT Classics. First position, McFly, as we know, over Rangy. DDF only just over Zach 18. Mark 860, back up into fifth. He was all the way down to ninth position before the last safety car and found himself back into fifth. So nice job by Mark in the Corvette. Kiz in that Porsche was right behind him as well, as was Chewy. Esky, man, he had a great drive in eighth position. Bales, we didn't see much of Bales, but he was there most of the race with Brad Luck. So they had a good little battle most of the time throughout that race. So they kept themselves entertained. And we had all the GT Classics, Max, on the lead lap, on 6 laps. So they were all on the same lap. So that was a good job by all those guys.
Absolutely. What a race. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
And we also, I think, had all the cars of the GT, of the Group C's on the lead lap as well from those safety cars. So there you go. What a sensational race that was. Let's return the guys back to the lobby so they can get themselves out and get themselves all nice and refreshed again. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure that you check out our stream for the remaining weeks. We've got round 4 coming up next weekend, where we go to Cascais, which is the old Estoril circuit. Round 5 will be Monza 91, which expect a very wet race there. And then Hockenheim will be another return of the multi-class racing to finish this series. So thanks again, Max, for all your camera work. I think everyone agrees you absolutely killed it tonight and kept us on the pulse with all that action, because we definitely saw plenty there tonight.
I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me. And gee, I hope I can do it again sometime.
I'm sure you'll be a man in need for in the broadcast booth. So that was an excellent job. So until next time, guys, I've been Woody Lizard alongside